how can we be a Christian at our work? That's the question that we'll be asking ourselves over the month of August at ESCCC. Because at our church, we have many uni students and young workers who are entering into what is the most difficult job market that we have seen for a very long time. But on the other hand, we also have many people for whom redundancy is a looming shadow, or redundancy is actually something that they're going through right now. So on the one hand, we have a lot of people in our church that don't have a lot of experience when it comes to being a Christian at work. On the other hand, we also have a lot of people who are very unsure about whether they'll even have work to go back to. So when we think about work at the present time, the prevailing attitude is not one of assurance and optimism, but of uncertainty and fear. And in times of fear, our attitude to our work often boils down to that of simply survival. The temptation is that we would arm ourselves with an attitude that takes what we can get and does whatever it takes to keep what we've got, by working hard, staying out of trouble, and keeping quiet, for example. And while these things might be necessary to do from time to time, we also need to be careful. Because if we are not careful, we might forget that we are God's servants that ought to be doing God's work. We might be tempted to turn a blind eye to evil in our workplace if we feel that our job is on the line. And we may end up enslaving ourselves to someone or something that isn't Jesus Christ our Lord, and that is idolatry. So the aim of this upcoming series then is that we might be reminded to regard ourselves as servants of our Lord Jesus, who purchased us at the price of his own blood, who purchased us to do good in the midst of evil, and who purchased us to serve his purposes for this world and for the world to come. Jesus Christ is the King, and he is in charge today. So if we would call ourselves Christians, then we are his Christians, his little Christs. Christ's business becomes our business. His work becomes our work. So as we spend some time exploring how we can be Christians at work, the plan is that we first take in God's big picture of work in the world. Then we'll consider how Christians work in the world by toiling faithfully in the midst of the present evil, by pursuing our ambitions in light of our future hope, and by making the most of our God-given opportunities to prepare ourselves and those around us for the world to come. So the aim is, by the end of the 4 weeks, we want to be able to say that, firstly, that we work with our God and not against him. Secondly, that we toil by faith in the midst of frustrations of a broken world. Thirdly, that we let our hope for the future shape our ambitions in the present. And fourthly, that we are preparing for the world to come by partnering in gospel ministry. I'm Pastor Jose. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.